Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get back on the channel. Levi Giles. And today we are predicting the Fabio Wardley Frazer Clarke fight, which is this Sunday at the O2 Arena. It's for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles, and it's a stacked card. I mean, it's only a 6-fight card, but 6 good fights, isn't there?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I want actually. I lost track of the days on when this card actually was, but yeah, I'll see it. It did pop up, and I've been watching all the face-offs and that between them. It's a real good fight, to be honest with you, and I'm looking forward to it. We're quite a good undercard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where to start. Oh, we'll start with Callum Simpson. He's 13-0 against Paz Patsy. That's what it says here. I swear he was fighting Bemo or somebody like that.
Has he had a change of opponent, has he, Callum?
I don't know, or maybe no, well, it's the same record, or maybe it's I don't know, but yeah, the guy's 34, 13 with 1 draw.
Yeah.
From Tanzania, so we know they're tough. They can get wild though, these Tanzanian fighters that we've seen come over to UK soil.
Yeah, definitely. And Callum's a really good boxer. He's think he's proved that already. I think it's another test for him, and I think he comes through with flying colours.
Yeah, same. I really rate Callum. I think he stormed through the domestic level. I think he's got a WBA title or some belt he's got.
Yeah.
But he went 10 rounds last time out. That was at Your Call. That was in September, I think. Where he had a decent opponent who gave him rounds which he needed, those sort of rounds, because he was just blowing everyone out of there quite easily. So
he's big for the weight.
So it was good for him to get a few those 10 rounds in, even though it was still quite comfortable for him. I can imagine he should knock this guy out as well. No offense to this opponent. I can just see this guy getting a bit over. This Tanzanian will just overload with a shot, and Callum will just catch him when he's overloading.
He's quite a big puncher, and Callum. He's really big for the weight, and I think if he comes through this in style, I think there's some really good domestic fights out there, really good 50-50s for decent titles. So hopefully we see him in them in the future.
Yeah. If I have to say, I'm gonna say maybe round 2 or 3 to Simpson.
Yeah, I think, quite early on. I think so. I think it's. I don't think, like you say, no offense to the no offense to the geezer, but I think he's going to get done quite early as well. Yeah, I think within 4.
Yeah, fair enough. I reckon. Yeah, it'll be done in 4. But if I had to pick a round, it'd be round 2 or 3. But yeah, I mean, next fight you've got Ben Whittaker. Silver, isn't he a silver medalist, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, is he 4-0 or 5-0? 5-0.
Is he 5-0?
Hang on, 6-0, sorry.
Yeah.
Against Leon Willings, who's 7-1. Leon's a former, he's the current light heavyweight Central Area champion. So
I feel like personally, I feel like Ben Whittaker's a few levels above that, and I think he's going to absolutely smash him, to be honest. And that's no disrespect to his opponent, but again, I feel like Ben Whittaker's. I kind of like him. I know a few people say that they don't like his cockiness and stuff like that, but I kind of like him. I think he's got one of them styles. If you love him or hate him, either way, you're going to tune in to watch him. But yeah, I think he's so comfortable in there, so relaxed, really powerful. I think he's going to go all the way and win world titles, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I think you've got to give Leon his dues. I mean, this is a step up for Ben, even though it's area level. People were saying give him harder opposition. I think Leon coming off 2 good wins against Jake Barton. He's a big hitter in his own right, but I mean, you know, there's levels in the sport of boxing. Leon's a good, I think maybe, you know, he's a good rank area opponent, and
Yeah,
but I think, you know, Ben.
that's. I mean, he's took an hard fight, and he knows what he's dealing with, and you never know. He's the big lads. One punch can change one punch can change that. You know, if Whitaker gets too cocky and gets caught, you don't know. It can happen. I'm sure a lot of people want that to happen. I don't think it will personally. I think I think he's got it all, but you never know. He could upset the apple cart, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Leon's he's tough, but yeah, I think it'll be a decent test. But I think, you
Yeah,
know, the likes of opponents Ben's been in there with haven't been. I mean, Jordan Granham took Tommy Fury the distance, Vladimir Baczewski, a decent Irish opponent. But yeah, I think it's a good fight for Ben. I think yeah, I think Ben should get him out of there. I think maybe round four, you know, or round four, I'm gonna say to Ben
yeah.
Whitaker.
I think. Yeah, I reckon Leon will be tough. I reckon it'll be within 5 or 6. I think so.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be in the first half of the fight. Oh no, maybe yeah, inside
Yeah,
5, I'll say. But if I'm saying round
yeah,
4, but yeah, I'm saying Ben Whitaker. I think he can already, you know, try and challenge for. Now I put myself on the spot here. The British, I think Buatsi's got that at the moment, hasn't he?
Um, has he got the European within the fight? Did the fight for 3 when he beat I can't what's it Dan Aziz?
Yeah, it was for the British, Commonwealth, and European.
I think I can't. I'm sure it was, but yeah, I think to be honest, I feel like they're above that. I feel like you Dan Aziz, and I feel like that they're knocking on to the Europe, obviously the European level, and definitely knocking onto that world stage. So I feel like they're a level above at the minute. So you never know. I mean, like heavyweight for a British, I reckon he's definitely English. If he goes down that route, goes English, British, I'm sure he wants to do that, Whitaker, and collect all the belts on the way. I'm sure that's what he'll go for. But yeah, there's some. I'm sure he's going to meet some very good kids in the light heavyweight division. There's some good fighters at the top level.
Yeah, and there's lots of people calling him out left, right, and centre. So
Yeah, he's going to win. I mean, like I say, he's quite a big attraction. A lot hate him and a lot love him, and I feel like he's going to be putting bums on seats, and that's all that matters. So, yeah,
yeah, I agree. Next fight is the return of Alan the Savage Babic. He is 11-1. He's against Steve Robinson, who's 6-2. This is 10 rounds in the heavyweight division.
yeah.
Safe to say this one's not going the distance.
I do. I like that. I do like that Robinson. I hope he can. You know what? His Babic is all the time out and stuff. Is that going to play a part? Or I think Robinson's going to show up, and I feel like if he can get Babic looked dangerous the first 3 and 4 rounds, and then he kind of deteriorates. So I feel like if Robinson can get on the jab and move for the first couple of rounds and see out the dangerous part, then. Yeah, I mean, Babic has just made that bridgerweight, didn't he? So maybe is he a true heavyweight? I don't know in size and weight. Will that play a part? I think Robinson's definitely got the favour in that. I'd favour Robinson going into the fight. I don't know I hadn't seen the odds, but I don't know if he's the outsider or not. But yeah, I'm going to favour him. I fancy him getting the job done.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm gonna go for him. Yeah. Like I say, I think if he gets them first couple out of the way with, when we know what Babic brings, he's all action and he's fun to watch. Actually, I do like Babic, but yeah, I'm going to back Robinson. Yeah, I'm going to take the outsider if he is the outsider. I haven't
I
seen
think he is. I think he's big underdog as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take the underdog.
Knockout or you know, points or.
I'm not going to. I feel like he looks at quite a big puncher. I mean, they're heavyweight, aren't they? The big men. Any punch is dangerous from them guys. But yeah, I'm just gonna say he's gonna win. I don't know how he's gonna do it, but yeah, I'm gonna just back him to win. It's quite a big call, and it? He's an underdog, so
Yeah. But I've spoken to Steve, and I had him on. I think it was a few weeks ago or days ago, and he was saying that he was gonna go. He was expecting like a stand and trade fight. He said that the fight would be done in. I think I don't want to quote him in case I said the wrong thing, but I think he said that he definitely said he's gonna win by knockout. I think he said in the first half of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it could. The two big men and they both go at it, don't they? I mean, he's definitely the bigger man, so you've got to favour him with that, surely. I mean, but Babic is well. We've seen him. He's quite relentless, especially over the first 4 rounds. On the build up to getting him, to getting him up there, he was relentless, wasn't he, Babic? And he's all action and he's fun to watch. So I feel like that could be fight of the night. If it could well be fight of the night, actually.
Yeah, I mean, with Steve, he's took those two defeats to Franklin, Ignatius, and Shane Gill. Yeah, it didn't look the greatest, but he's bounced back, and he's an example of a fighter who just never gives up. So I do feel like he does make a few mistakes in his game. Like he does leave his chin up, hands down. He doesn't really put his hands up. But I think he can bang, and he showed that against Nick Campbell when he got written off. I think, yeah, the pressure's definitely more on Babic in this fight. But if they do what they're both saying, stand and trade, I do believe that falls into Babic's hands. I think Babic looked very impressive. Then he lost to Razak. I'm not good with names. Razakov or Razakiev.
Was that for his Bridgerweight title?
Yeah, that was for the WBC Bridgerweight title. Where he
Yeah,
got stopped in the first
yeah.
round.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I did watch the fight. It was a bit. He wasn't very good in that fight. Was that his last fight as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is the inactivity going to play a part? I mean, obviously he's going to be the favourite going into it, but I feel like the activity is definitely a thing. It's a real thing, and it could. I don't think it'd be a. I've definitely seen worse upsets in the past if Robinson was to go in and get the job done.
Yeah. But I feel, yeah, if they stand Babic's strong, I think, all fighters have nights where they just get caught cold early. It happens in boxing when you just get caught early and you can't recover. And
Yep.
that's what happened
Yep.
that night to Babic. Take nothing away from his opponent, because I think, if it was a rematch, the same sort of thing would happen. But I think Babic back at heavyweight, yes, he's a small heavyweight. But I think he can get on that inside quite well. Whether
Yep.
Robinson avoids survives the opening like four, 5 rounds, when Babic's going to be charging at him. If he can take him into that later stage of the fight, it might play into Robinson's hands.
Yeah.
But as much as I'm a fan of both, but I kind of want the underdog to win in this fight. As much as I want Steve to win, I just think it's a fight for Babic to, put his name back out there and sort of, get back to where he wants to be. I don't think, world title, not his level, but there's still good fights out there for Alan Babic.
Oh, definitely. You're right there. I mean, domestically, you're right, and I suppose you're right in what you're saying there with the pressure. I mean, it's all on Babic. He's got to win this fight, or what? Where does he go from there?
Yeah, I mean, maybe activity could play a factor in the fight. Who knows? But I just believe Babic will be too strong, get on the inside,
Yeah.
and I believe he'll stop him in round 3. But
Yeah.
if because Robinson's saying he'll stand and trade, I think if he gets his jab, maybe it could be a different story. Because I think Babic, no offense, but I don't think he can't really box. I think he's more of a just inside
Oh, he's a brawler.
fighter.
Yeah, he's just a brawler. You know what he's going to bring. It's he's a bit like, I mean, Derek Chisora is a bit better than him, to be honest. But he's like a mediocre Derek Chisora, isn't he? The way he just plods, he goes forward and he's all war. Chisora can actually box a bit, and he's obviously been in the world champions, and he's probably 2-3 levels above Babic, but it's quite similar. But yeah, to be honest, I think that's going to be. I think that could well be fight of the night for however long it lasts.
Yeah, because they could be. I reckon they'll both be trading big bombs. I think it could be a factor in who lands first. Whether Babic's chin. I mean, it
Yeah,
got cracked for the first time, didn't it, against that Ryov? And
yeah,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Babic's chin holds up as well.
definitely, definitely.
Because Robinson's proved that he's yes, he can get caught, but he can take a big shot as well.
Yeah,
But I just think, um, yeah, I think Babbitt beats him in the third round. And are you saying Robinson, just a Robinson win? Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna back the underdog. Yeah, yeah. I fancy him. So we'll see. It's going to be a good fight. That. I mean, I won't be. Don't get me wrong. If Babic goes in and steamrolls him, then well, it is what it is. Like that's what is expected of Babic to do, and that I think this is why he's under pressure so much. So I feel like Robinson's got no pressure on him. He can go in, and if he performs and does really well, then he can go up the ranks and he can get. He'll probably be in for a really big fight or even a really good payday next. So yeah.
Mm. But yeah, next fight, Vidal Riley 10-0 v Miguel Lawler 17-1. Of course, Vidal, the current English champion, beat Nathan Quallers in his last fight. Miguel Lawal lost his last fight to Isaac Chamberlain on unanimous decision, where he lost
Yeah, he didn't
the
do anything.
British title.
I was really disappointed with Lowell that night. Lowell, I didn't think he did much at all, especially after that build-up and stuff. I was expecting that to be quite a good fight, but it was so one-sided. And if we're going on that performance, I think Vidal Riley stops him. I quite highly rate Vidal Riley. I think he's really good. He's got good movement. He's really skillful, and he can clearly punch quite hard. So yeah, I'm going to take Vidal Riley by knockout in that fight.
Yeah, again, I think Lawal, as you said, I thought it would be a decent competitive fight. I did think that Chamberlain would win, but I thought it would be way closer than that.
Yeah, yeah, it was just a beatdown really. Lowell didn't really do anything at all.
He didn't
I was
even,
quite
I don't
quite
even think he nicked around,
no,
personally.
I don't know if it was just an off night. So if he's got, he might come back this fight and look, he might look $1 million. And I hope he does, and it ends up a really good fight because it's got the potential. But I just don't know. I mean, if it's anything to go on that last fight, then I think it'll just be another one-sided beatdown again.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, if that Miguel Lawler turns up, then Vidal will have an easy night's work. But on
I
the other hand, Miguel Lawler, former British champion. I mean, beating Jameson. I think he's a former prize fighter winner as well. He's
Yeah, he did.
on
Yeah,
his day. He's a good fighter.
yeah, he is. And I don't know. He just didn't see it in that last fight, and I don't know if that was because Chamberlain was, probably the best person he's been in with, and it was just a level, or I really don't know. But he had a really bad night at the office, and maybe it was just a bad night, and we're going to see a good performance. But I really rate Vidal Riley, and I think he's going to get the job done I think he might be the first person to stop Lowell.
Did you watch their face off that it's on YouTube on Boxer? Did you watch it?
Now, what between these two, between Riley and no, I haven't. No,
Yeah, I thought Vidal's seems the more confident of the two. I believe Luau's going to be a bit nervous, coming off that defeat wasn't his night. But if he turns up, it could be a good fight. Of course, he's British. It's a good step up in opponent for Vidal Riley. Of course, he's beaten Anis
yeah,
Taj twice, and he beat Nathan Quallers, who, if you watch Vidal's last fight, he was just all over him. He didn't really let Nathan throw a punch really in that last
no,
fight. Yes.
he didn't put a step wrong, and he looked like he's gone. He looked like he's really gone up the gears again. Got leveled up. And I feel like the better opponent he's in with, the better he's going to perform. So I feel like, yes, it is his best opponent to date, but I feel like he's just going to blitz him. But I could be wrong. Boxing at the end of the day, they could, maybe Lowell did just have an off night, and he's got something to prove now. I think he definitely has got something to prove.
Yeah, they're both. I think Lowell starts slow. If you watch him fight, he's not as fast starter really. I think Vidal starts fast, and if you let Vidal get into his rhythm, then I think if you sort of Lawler kind of can be on the back foot and just sort of awkward counter punch sort of thing, and just.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd say Lawler's sort of a counter puncher in a way, waits for his opponent. Almost sometimes in that Chamberlain fight where he waited too long and Chamberlain beat him to the punch every time.
it was quite a boring fight, to be honest with you. Well, he did. Don't get me wrong. Chamberlain did everything he had to do, but it won't. It's not a fight I'd go back and rewatch anyway.
I can't lie. I mean, the UFC was on that night. I mean, Makachev, wasn't it? Makachev Volk was on that night as well, where he fought Chamberlain. I was watching that whilst I was trying to watch the football as well, and I was trying to watch Linares v Catrall. So that was a busy night. So I was trying to watch four things at once. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's my prediction for that anyway.
So are you saying Vidal early stoppage or late or?
I think if he does, it's going to be mid to late. But well, it's tough. So to be honest with you, it could just be a points and it could be a work. But if it does go to the points, I think it'll be very wide again.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of road I'm going down, because I think even though Lawal got beat bad in his last fight, I think he is very durable, and I think it'll be a long way back for Lawler if he does get beat, because from British then he's Vidal to English, it'll be sort of a long way back to get in that mix.
Yeah,
That's just in my opinion personally. You might disagree with it.
In it, it's not like it's not something that can be done straight away. And at his age and stuff is that but we'll see. I think it's going to be a good fight, but it's going to be more entertaining than his last one. But I feel like Vidal Riley's just going to be too good.
Yeah, I think Lawal will show up. I hope he does as well. But I think Vidal would be too clever for him, too sharp. He's sort of a similar fighter to Chamberlain in a way, Vidal at times. I'm going to say Vidal on points, whether that's. I reckon it'll be quite, maybe 7-3, sort of 8-2. I think wide. I'm going to say Vidal Riley, unanimous decision. But yeah.
Yeah, there's the wide points decision, mate. Yeah, or maybe a late stoppage. But yeah, definitely a Riley win.
This is another one that I think we might disagree on. A great fight in the welterweight division. 10 rounds, of course. You've got Flory and Marku, 13-1. Chris Kongo, 14-2. Great fight.
Yeah, you know what, mate? I'm going to go with Marku. I feel like he's going to stop him. I don't I think he pushes every single person that he meets. But I think he can genuinely, he can fight, and he's proved. I think he showed against Ryland Charlton from that fight onwards. He's just got better and better and better. And yeah, I'm going to take him for the start. I think he stops Kongo. I don't know about you, but I think he stops Kongo. Kongo's a good mover and stuff, but he has been dropped. McKinson did drop him. I feel like
ain't a massive puncher.
No, this is it. He's not, even though he's dropped a lot of people quite early on, but he's not a big puncher. I just feel like
I don't even think McKinson's a big puncher. I just think McKinson's timing puts them down.
That I think that'd be a good fight between McKinson and Florian. I feel like especially I feel like that'd be a good fight. But yeah, I feel like for this fight, it's simple for me. I feel like the Albanian wins stoppage, and I feel like it's going to be within 6.
Oh, so you think early doors? I think, Marku's strong, but I definitely think, Chris has got the experience of going the distance. He's been in, even though, Marku's been quite active, and, Congo last fought January last year against Eko Essuman, which was a majority decision defeat. But yeah, I mean, if you talk about that Eko Essuman fight, what a fight. I think on the night, I had it to Esserman by 1, but watching it back, I think it was close. But watching it back, I still had Eko winning. But I think it was a close fight that night. Kongo.
Yeah, Eko is quite strong as well. I've seen Eko box loads of times over the amateur stages, and that when I was always at the championships, and he was really strong. And yeah, I think it's two different kind of pressure fighters. But I just feel like I feel like Florian's going to be too much for him. But yeah, I feel like he's going to stop him. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but you're right in what you're saying with the opposition. I do feel like he's been, he's definitely been in with better people. Could that show? Maybe, but I don't feel like he's had the pressure fighter that's Florian, like Florian is, and he's got such a good team around him as well. It really does play a big part.
Yeah, I mean it could. I think again, this could be a fight where, Congo will need to try and survive early on. I think at times Congo can like smother the work of Marku. I think I've seen Congo do it a few times. He's good at smothering his opponent's work. Yes,
Yeah,
he's had those 2 defeats, but he's also beaten Formella and Clay. I think Congo's a good fighter, and I think he's a slick mover. He's tough to hit at times, but he's also there to be hit as well. I think, Marku closes that gap instantly. I mean, yeah, I think Marku's actually got some good names on his resume. I mean, Chris Jenkins, he is a bit of a gatekeeper at the moment, but I think former British
yeah,
champion in his own right, Chris Jenkins.
I feel like I don't feel like he beat the best Chris Jenkins. That's no disrespect to Chris. I mean, I think Chris would probably admit his sin. He's not. This isn't the best version of Chris. It was quite a few years ago now when he was. His name went kind of under the radar, and I think he didn't get the big fight he deserved. But he's a good fighter, and like you say, it's a respectful name to have on his resume. So, yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be a tough night's work for both. I think Florian would be dangerous early on. But yeah, I think Congo, if he gets through the opening few rounds, I think eventually he can make him miss. I think, as there's bad blood between the two, Chris can't get silly and punch with the puncher because that's not going to go very well
No.
for him. Because I think he sort of done that with Echo, and that was sort of Echo's sort of style. I think you can't do that with a sort of big puncher like him. Mark, who's another good, dangerous opponent. But I think, Chris does, even though he's had that time out, you don't know what he's been doing. I mean, in that gym, he trains alongside the likes of Lee Wood, Anthony Joshua. Yeah, big people like that. I mean, got a good trainer, Ben Davison.
What are you doing? Going with Congo points?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with, mate. I mean, I've been a fan of him for quite a while, but I do believe that if he can get his jab going, and
yeah, he's definitely going to have to. He's going to have to fight not a boring fight, but he's going to have to be very smart in his work. He's going to have to be very technical and not get involved, and he's going to have a very strict performance, I believe.
And at times, sort of make it an ugly fight, like old when you need to.
Yeah. I agree, definitely.
He needs to try and smother Marku's work. I mean, it might not be the prettiest of fight from Congo, but as long as he gets the job done, that's the main thing that he needs.
Got to do what it takes to win.
Yeah, I'm saying Congo on points, but if there's a stoppage in the fight, 100% the stoppage is coming from Marku. I reckon if there is a stoppage, it'll be in the first 6. But if I think I'm going to say Congo split decision points, but these dodgy decisions I think could go either way. I do believe they're both with Boxer, but I think Marku's got that bigger crowd. It'll probably go 90 if it's close, but I reckon Chris beats him on points, and I can't see Chris knocking him out. No offense to Chris, I think he's a very good mover, Chris, and I think hopefully Chris gets the job done. I reckon, I'm saying Chris on points. So another fight we're disagreeing on. But in my opinion, that one could still be the best
card I've seen in a long time from Sky. They don't really put many good shows on, but I feel like it's a really good show from Sky, this one. So I am quite looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
Yes, so am I. And on a Sunday night as well. It's a bit rare we get Sunday night fights.
Good. And now on for the main event. Who you taking? We could disagree on this one.
Well, yeah, but before... Oh, yeah, so It's for the British and Commonwealth title. Main event. Fabio Wardley, 17-0 v Frazer Clarke, who's 8-0. Before we do the prediction, Wardley's got, of course, he's coming off. I think Wardley's got the better resume. Of course, Eric Molina, Nick Webb, Nathan Gorman, Coffey, and of course, last time out beating Dave Adelaide. Clarke, on the other hand, has that GB experience, the amateur experience is in Frazer Clarke's hands. Of course, 8-0 with 6 knockouts. Beat Marius Wack, who's probably the standout name on his resume.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. He can only beat who's in front of him. I just feel like the push. I feel like they didn't want this fight. I feel like now he's in a position where he had to take this fight, Clarke. I know he was saying that he wanted this fight, but then they didn't want it. So Wardley just fought whoever was put in front of him. And for me, I think I've had this like debate with a few people. I'm just taking Wardley. Like, I feel like Wardley beats him. I feel like it's definitely. I feel like Clarke's definitely obviously got all the amateur pedigree and everything like that, whereas Wardley comes from that unlicensed background. I mean, if you put that together, really, Wardley shouldn't have a chance. Frazer should be too cute for him. He should be too skillful. But I feel like in this professional game, that amateur's kind of irrelevant. And I just feel like he's going to come through, mate. I feel like he's going to knock Clarke out. I think he's proved Adelaide that his game, he can take punches. He's actually a good boxer himself, and he's got some power. We've seen it over the years against some good opposition, and yeah, I'm fancying Wardley this fight. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying the same. I think, Wardley can do a bit of both. He's sort of one of these fighters who can make it slick at times,
Yeah,
but he's also a vicious puncher. Of
yeah,
course, his last, he's got 16 knockouts. I mean, I like the way he's come up through the domestic sort of scene,
every he
Wardley.
the hard way. And again, he's going on. He's going on this away show again. He just beat Adelaide, that was a BT show on Adelaide's own show, and he's gone. He knocked him out.
It was a beating, in my opinion, from Wardley.
Oh, he absolutely smashed him to pieces, and now he's going on Sky against Frazer, and he's just doing it all the right way. And he's such a likable character. They're both likable guys. I've obviously met Frazer before when I boxed on his same show. He's a lovely bloke as well. But I feel like taking that apart, I just feel like Wardley's going to come through and do it. I feel like he's going to get the job done. I feel like he's got a massive future ahead in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, and in a way, I can see it sort of the same way as he fought Adelaide. I think Adelaide Clarke would be a good fight. I mean, Clarke got the I mean, people would say if they haven't watched boxing and you look at Clarke's amateur achievements,
he should fly through. Yeah, he should fly through, but I feel like you can't rush a fighter in the pro game, and I feel like it's a bit too soon for him.
I think, yeah. I mean, even if you watch his fights where he took them the distance, he hasn't really settled into the pro career.
No, I mean, if you look at the Dave Allen performance, I mean, Dave Allen won actually miles behind on that fight. He won well out of it. I know he didn't come out of I can't remember if it was the 7th or something. I can't remember what round it was. And obviously he didn't come out, but Clarke was done for the low blows. He must have threw like.
Yeah, I mean, he could have got disqualified in that fight as well.
Yeah, he lost 2 points, and he was probably another low blow off getting a loss by disqualification. And yeah, I just feel like it's all wrong for him at this point in his career. I could be well wrong, and he could go there Sunday and absolutely smash Fabio, but I really can't see it at all.
Yeah, I think and you can also question Clarke's gas tank, because even though he's gone that 10 rounds against Wack, if you watch that fight,
it's a very, very slow pace.
Yes, and Wack wouldn't even, no offense, but he wouldn't even throw in. No,
it won't. You can't really compare him to Wardley at all, and I feel like that's the best name on his resume. But obviously, he's not. He can only beat what's in front of him, so I understand that. And he has only had 8 fights, but that's the reason I feel like this is just too soon for him.
Yeah, I think Wardley's experience will get to him. I just think he's quicker than Clarke. I think, if Clarke, I just think he's better than Clarke all
Yeah,
round. I mean, I could be on social media clipped and people will be clipping what I'm saying. But I mean,
yeah.
I just think from what I've seen, I
As a
just think
professional, yeah, right.
Wardley's better than him all round. I think if Clarke comes forward, I think he'll walk into one. If Clarke tries the box, Wardley can take that front foot. Wardley can do both. I just think I can see
Yeah,
Clarke
find the
walking
winner.
into a
You
nice
know,
shot.
I think so, and I feel like the winner could go on to fight maybe, I don't know, like your Daniel Dubois or your Dillian White or someone like that. I feel like all their names are well up there now. Or if Derek Chisora's sticking around, what if he's going to stick around for another fight, then why not? I feel like Fabio is definitely on that. I feel like them fights are there, and I just feel like Clarke's maybe 1 or 2 fights away. I feel like he needs a couple more tougher fights on his resume.
I would say I would like the winner to fight Hooney, who fought on the AJ card and he beat Lorena. Hooney.
You know what, mate? Yeah, Lorena really come back into that fight. That was a good fight, actually. Yeah, he did. You're
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
maybe the winner fights one of them two because I
yeah.
think they're a good sort
I
of.
mean, look at Lorena. He was quite unlucky not to stop Daniel Dubois. He dropped him, was it 3 times? And the ref could have well waved that off. And obviously Dubois come out and caught him. That was a good 3-4 rounds of boxing as well. But yeah, I feel going back to the prediction, mate. I feel like it's going to be a Fabio stoppage. I don't know when it will come out. I think it's going to be like 7 or 8. I feel like it might be late on.
I was thinking mid rounds as well, like
But
you were.
going to put a combination together, mate, and I think he gets him out of there, though. But we'll see. And I'm looking forward to the card. It's a really good card, to be honest with you, on a nice bank holiday weekend as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying, I was about to, I don't know what I was on about. I said Fabio round 7 to 8 as well.
Yeah.
Would you call it an upset if Clarke won?
No, because but it's hard not to really contradict yourself. But like going back and looking, Clark he's obviously had all that amateur pedigree. So I suppose when someone's had all that and they've done really well, they've been in the Olympics, they've had all that, he's boxed some really good names in it as an amateur. Even though for me it's 2 completely different games. If you're going on that, then he should really be too technically good for Fabio, because Fabio's didn't really have any amateur background. I don't think. I think it was all that
Yeah,
unlicensed.
white collar, yeah, sort of
But
unlicensed.
as a professional, you can't. If you take all the amateur career away and you look at the professionals, I think it's a total mismatch. And I feel like Fabio, he's going to show where he's at in the boxing world. But Frazer Clarke, he's a big man and it's heavyweight boxing. I think anything can happen.
Or maybe Clarke's been saving something, and maybe this is time to shine. Who knows? I
Oh,
mean,
it definitely is.
big stakes as well in this fight, British and Commonwealth titles. So
This is the biggest. Yeah, this is the biggest fight of his whole life, definitely. It's even bigger than the Olympics. I feel like this is professional game now. It's 2 professionals going at it for big titles. I feel like it's the biggest fight of his life, and he has to put on a career best performance. He has to, and if he doesn't, and the same Fabio's turned up what has been turning up the last 17 fights, I feel like it's going to be an even earlier night than it should be.
mm. But
But we'll
yeah,
see. It's totally wrong.
we could be totally wrong because I've had some predictions wrong, and yeah, but yeah. So thank you for your time, Levi.
No worries. Thanks
As
for having me.
always, yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Bye, mate. Thank you for your
Okay,
time.
mate. Buddy.
Bye.